Hey, Mel here, and I have a question for you. Who doesn't like to save a buck? Today I'm talking about making soil blocks on the cheap. Hey everyone, it is Mel here with 10 Lairs Deep. We are at Cut Flower Farm here in the heart of Canada, Kelwood, Manitoba, and hardiness zone 3. So we're gardening in an interesting zone, very challenging, but here we are and we are making the most, if not excelling at it. It's super fun. I love the challenge. Today, we want to share our really frugal way to make soil blocks, and it doesn't include buying the soil block maker. So if that interests you, you want to save a few bucks, if you're not yet there in investing in a soil blocker, but you want to try the whole concept, stick around and I will quickly show you how that you can make them your own with things that you have around your house. So stay tuned. All right, so first things first, I went ahead and pre-moistened my soil with hot water, which kind of two birds, one stone, it sterilizes it also. But this isn't near enough, wet enough to hold, like it does hold, but when it just drips a little bit. I'm going to add a bit of moisture because you want to have ample moisture when you're making soil blocks, especially the way that I'm going to demonstrate today. So I'm going to add a bit more water, moisture. Mix it in here with my hands. And if you prefer, you can wear gloves. And everyone can use whatever soil mixture for starting your seeds in. That's completely up to you. So again, I'm going to add just a smidge more water. I want mine almost sopping. Okay, it's almost even at the mucky stage, which is kind of where I want it. Okay, so mixed enough. What I like to use is reused container. This is a takeout container of some kind. Oftentimes I like to use those styrofoam containers you get breakfast sausage links in or other different things in, and they vary in depth. They make a good form, but this is what I found, so this is what I'm going to use. So the soil is, you can hear it. And if you squeeze it together, it does drip moisture, but you really have to quite squeeze it. So I'm gonna mix it. I want it nice and mixed. So then I'm going to put the soil into my form here. And this is probably about 2 inches, 1.5 inches to 2 inches deep. So that's the depth that I'm aiming for. And again, remember when we were seeding seeds and I was recommending to tamp lightly, here I'm gonna recommend tamp a little heavier because we don't really want any air pockets and we wanna make sure that we have it good and compacted in this form. You can, it's like I'm making a little bog here. You push down, you can see the moisture, which is exactly what I'm going for. Because in soil blocking, it's essentially you are air pruning your seedlings. So you plant the seed and the seed's roots will go downward. And in soil blocking, you're essentially making little blocks of soil. So once you start seeing roots, that means it's time to pot that up. Okay, so this is, as you can see, nice and firm. If you push it, you can see the moisture up through my fingers. Like it's really good because you want good moisture. All right, so next, what we're gonna do, move my water aside and my soil because I'm not going to need it. This Rubbermaid container is what I'm going to put my soil blocks on, but for demonstration's sake, we will take, and now before I flip it, I always flip it prematurely. What you want to do is I have a butter knife here, and we're simply just going to go around the outside of the container and just quickly and gently. I guess it would work better. Sometimes I use something that's a bit wider, but this is what I have today. So you just go around and you just kind of push it into itself to make, so it's more, you just push that block, the soil into itself, so it's separating it from the side of my container, my form here. And go. Again, if you had a wider, I don't know why I grabbed a butter knife, but if you had a wider tool, it would go a little quicker. But this works for demonstration's sake. Anything will work, like use what you got. A butter knife will do. Okay, so we've gone around all sides. So now essentially it's just holding on by the bottom. It's still pretty uniform. We're doing good. That means we're doing good. So the trick is in the flip. Now we're just gonna wanna like one fluid motion, and here we go. Just like that. So now it's like a little cake here, right? And you can go with your knife here, so you decide like how big your soil blocks you want to be. So I'm just gonna score the top to show where I'm gonna be cutting. And I've done both ways where I've cut all the way through. Sorry, keep going. I've cut all the way through with whatever tool you have, your knife or whatnot. Or you can just simply score halfway through, and that way it can still kind of wick a bit of moisture from the mass block, but you do have to keep your eye on it when they do start really rooting out, because it could lead to problems if you wait too long. And you know, you can be a lot more precise than I am being with this, but for demonstration purposes, I don't want to take forever. I just want to show you that this is a very quick way to, if you've been curious to try that. I know it's quite popular. A lot of people have those soil blockers, I've noticed lately. I've heard my friends and such. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to get a soil blocker. I mean, they're a really great tool to have, but this is just an alternative to try the concept. Start a lot of seeds in a little amount of space, which is completely awesome, because you don't really need too much to start a lot. Okay, we're working our way through. So I think for this block, I'm not gonna cut it all the way through. We'll do a little experiment here. Okay, we're gonna leave these ones bigger. Sometimes you kind of wiggle it back and forth. Oh, and again, excuse me for my gross fingernails. Growing season, they will grow out also with my... Okay, so now I just noticed at the end of my butter knife here, it kind of leaves a perfect little dimple. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna leave a little place that the seed will naturally want to fall into, just to give it a bit of a little nest to root in. And pretty easy, pretty painless with things that we have around our house. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it'll be better than a soil blocker, but I'm saying if you want to try it out, this is a great option. So highly recommend it. That's it, folks. Get out there and keep putting the seeds in the soil. Would love to hear if you have any experience doing this, or if you just jumped right to a soil blocker, which one's your favorite, because you know, probably we'll be looking into getting some as we grow our operation here. But anywho, this is a great option. We'd love to hear if you're trying it out. And take care. Bye. I don't know where I'm going. I gotta keep making more.